Alien Resurrection. This series, well, it's really confusing when you think about it. The first film was a serious horror film. The second movie was a goofy action movie. Alien 3 was a depressing prison movie. Conceptually, the film isn't that bad. The company has revived Ripley after 200 years of her being dead. And of course they did this because there was an alien inside her, the Xenomorph, which they're trying to revive because they're always trying to get the Xenomorph to kill people. Now this is actually an interesting metaphor on abortion, as we already talked about, how the government is basically forcing Ripley to be alive in order to create this abomination that she didn't want to begin with. Now, the film went all the way with this metaphor, we would have had something interesting, but no, this film's more interested in having goofy action scenes like aliens underwater. And unlike the previous films where they don't really show the aliens, this movie shows them all the way. We even get a new type of alien that looks goofy as hell, or as Chucky called it, beautiful, beautiful little baby. Somehow, this is the most ridiculous performance that Brad Dourif's ever given, and he's been playing a killer doll for over 30 years. And that's pretty much every performance in this movie. Everyone gives the most hammiest and cheesiest performance you will ever hear, even more cheesy than Aliens dialogue. It's a shame hearing some of these great actors giving some of the worst performances of their career because of how terrible Joss Whedon's dialogue is. The characters are very underdeveloped, and they're just stereotypes, and they're all very horny for some reason. This film is incredibly horny. I don't know what Joss Whedon's problem is, but that's a storyline in his films. All that except for Toy Story. I guess he wasn't allowed to put his horniness into that film. The basketball scene is so bad. Like, for some reason, the guy's like, wants to flirt with her, but she's like, no, fuck you, and I want to flirt with you, but not really, and I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you for some reason. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Ripley has alien DNA in her, so she's super strong now, and also a completely different character at this point. Like, she acts nothing like she did in the first 3 movies, and I feel like she's just hamming it in, like, she knows how bad the script is, like, fuck this movie, it's my last Alien film after this shit. Which is true, she would never return to this franchise, and, you know, it makes sense. I mean, there's nothing more for her character to do after this point. But it's a shame, after she gave such a great performance in Alien 3 that was actually heart-wrenching, here she gives a really phoned-in performance where her character is actually completely ridiculous and off the wall. So I guess because she's not the same Ripley, which makes sense, but at the same time, like, why is it so bad? There's only one good scene where she discovers all the previously failed clones of her, which are actually kind of sad and depressing. It's the only good scene in the movie, and I wish they did more of this concept. It's such a great concept, but they fail miserably at it. The rest of the movie, the character just doesn't care anymore. Like, whatever, it's the 4th time doing this bullshit, I'm done with this whole franchise. That's what you get from this film. It's some weird, horny fan wanting to make another Alien movie and to put as much aliens in it as possible. Nothing else about it is very interesting. So yeah, there's a nonsensical story, the characters act like idiots, and there's nothing really else to it. But if you want to see a couple cool-looking alien shots and dumb action scenes, then go ahead and watch Alien Resurrection. But you're not going to get a whole lot of depth to it. I mean, I could talk about it more, but this film kind of speaks for itself. It's stupid, it's dumb, and no one else really seems to care about it. Now, is it better than Alien 3, as some people say? No, not at all. It's terrible. Alien 3 is a good movie, and I'll stand on that hill. Alien Resurrection did not revive the franchise. After at this, it would be put on ice for a couple years, other than doing crossover Alien vs. Predator until it finally came back with Prometheus in the 2 recent films. While the vs. Predator movies were also goofy, I mean, it's to be expected. You're 2 monsters fighting each other. It seems that in recent years, the Alien franchise has gone back to its horror roots of the original film, which is good, since that was easily the best one. But when it comes to the first 4, it is definitely a hodgepodge of different ideas that don't work together. You may think Alien's the best one because you grew up with it. You think Aliens 1, the original horror, was good. Or you might be like me and think that Alien 3 is kind of overhated and it's not that bad and actually executes its idea pretty well. But I bet, like everyone else, will say that Alien Resurrection is just a dumb waste of time. And that's all I gotta say about the first 4 Alien films. Next year I may cover the others movies I haven't talked about, and really I shouldn't even talk about this one because it's not even a horror movie, it's like a dumb comedy. But tomorrow I'm going to be covering a completely different horror movie as we go into Halloween. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Why does he kiss her? Why does he make a shitting grin after he kisses him? Like, what the fuck? I don't get this scene. This is the type of movie we're in. At the end, randomly Slade from Teen Titans, that's the actor, by the way, or Hellboy, if you will, Ron Perlman, he just goes over and kisses the guy, and then makes a shit-eating grin after he does it. There's like no inclination that this guy wanted to kiss him before this scene. He's like, I'm gonna kiss this guy now, and they make a shit-eating grin smile. What the fuck?